Hey guys, do you remember that one time when I knew how to read and I just read a lot of books? Because I definitely don't. It's sad. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming a video that I don't even know the title of right now, but I wanted to film a video and I missed booktube and I just suck at reading. My last video was my February TBR and I still have that pile of books sitting right here. Didn't ever read them. No, never happened. I started one book and this is how far I got. Right here. You see that? I suck at reading now. So this video is going to be about just 5 books that I absolutely loved reading in 2015 because that was when I knew how to read. So I want to reminisce about that time and just bring some books to you guys that I enjoyed in 2015. Maybe you've read them. We can chat about down below about them. Or maybe you haven't read them and I'm here to encourage you to pick up these books and read them if you can still read, because I can't. But I do want to add that I think the reason why I'm still feeling super slumpy is because the first book that I of course picked out of my TBR jar was a honker of a book. This book is like, I don't know, forever amount of pages. I don't know. But it's pretty big and it's so incredibly boring that I can't even take it. It's by Dean Koontz. It's the first book I've ever read by him. It's called False Memory. I just would not recommend it. I like mystery books. I like murder mystery books. But I just can't take his writing. But I do want to give it a little bit longer. I don't even think I'm 100 pages in. And I like to at least give a book 100 pages. I'm 87 pages. So this book's got a couple more pages with me. I'm going to give it at least 100 pages. And if I don't like it, I'm definitely going to go into The Beginning of Everything or The Kite Runner, because I know some people left some comments down in my last video saying The Kite Runner was awesome and they really enjoyed it. So it's got me pretty hyped to read that book. So if I have to DNF this, I just have to DNF it. First book of the year and I'm DNFing it. Whatever. Who cares? YOLO. Without further ado, let's jump into the 5 books that I really enjoyed reading in 2015. So the first book is by my favorite murder mystery writer, and that's Lisa Gardner, and this book is called Fear Nothing. This book was crazy as hell. It's about some crazy ass bitch who does crazy shit. Really. I'm really excited to explain this book to you guys. So this book follows our main character, Dr. Adeline Glenn, who has a disorder where she does not feel pain at all. I forgot what the disorder is called, but she has no feeling of pain. Pinch her, stab her, whatever, she does not feel it. And she has a crazy sister who's in a psych ward who has been there since she was 14 years old. That was her first murder. Her sister's murdered people. Her father also has murdered someone and kept them under the floorboards of their house for 40 years. So in this book, we got all these crazy people, and then there's a detective here, Detective Dee Warren, and she's following after this mystery of this rose killer. And she hooks up with Dr. Adeline because she starts seeing her for pain that she's actually in. The doctor is she deals with pain. She doesn't feel pain. I don't get it. But she's having a lot of pain because she was shot in her arm and she's just going to this doctor. So they kind of meet up looking after this rose killer. After so long, they become friends, and Detective Dee Warren starts talking to Adeline about her situation and the case that she's following as of now. And then Dr. Adeline starts to think that this rose killer kind of sounds a little bit like her father and knows a lot of things about her father that can't possibly be true. Her father is obviously dead at this point and they don't know who it could be. Then they start to think that the rose killer is actually Shayna Day, who's Adeline's sister. Obviously the rose killer can't be Shayna Day because she's locked up in this psych ward, or so they think. So shit happens, a lot of shit goes down in this book. It's so many twists and turns. If you guys love psychological thrillers, you will love this book. I could not figure out who the killer was throughout the entire time of this book. And it was a book that definitely kept me up, turning the pages. I'm like sitting there with the flashlight in my bed trying to finish this book. If you love psychological thrillers, you're going to love this book. It's a murder mystery book, but like I said, psychological thrillers all up in here. Feels, I was scared as shit. You're gonna love it. I end up giving this book a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I have for you guys, I don't even need to talk about because I know everyone knows about this book, but if you haven't read it, what are you doing with your life? Because I've talked about it on my channel before. I know a lot of people have talked about this book before, and it is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This is a book that definitely shocked me in 2015. It was one of the first books that I actually picked up in 2015, and it blew me away. It gave me all the feels. It made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me super excited. I just couldn't put this book down. I think I read it in one sitting, or maybe more. You know, the main characters are Augustus Waters and Hazel Grace Lancaster. They obviously both have cancer. Just read it. I don't even need to explain. Just read this book. You know you want to read it. I ended up giving The Fault in Our Stars 5 out of 5 stars. The next set of books is a part of a series that absolutely blew me away in 2015. I definitely wanted to pick this series up when there was so much hype surrounding it. But I was kind of skeptical and like, I was just really skeptical of reading this series because I thought that I was going to be a little bit let down. I didn't know whether or not this is a thing that I would be really into, but I absolutely wind up loving it. And that is the Lunar Chronicles series. I read the first 2 books. I am purposely taking my time and not reading this series completely because I know that it's over already. And I can't let it go, and I absolutely fell in love with Cinder. I took a while to read Scarlet, but I picked up Scarlet right away. I bought it right away, but it took me a while to actually pick it up. And if you guys don't know, Cinder is a retelling of course, Cinderella, and Scarlet is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. And Crest, the third book that I'm going to actually be picking up soon because I need to pick that up to at least get out of this reading slump, is Crest, which is a fairy tale retelling of Rapunzel. I think it's Rapunzel. Yes, it's Rapunzel. But these books are absolutely awesome. If you guys love YA dystopian books, if you love books about cyborgs, you're gonna love this book. Even if you don't. Like, I wasn't really into cyborgs or anything like that before I picked up this series, and I absolutely love this series. It's very fun to read, and it really does follow a little bit along. If you don't like fairy tale retellings, it's still interesting because it does follow a little bit of the fairy tale-esque aspect of the stories, but it's a story in itself. I can't really explain it. I absolutely loved it. You guys need to pick this up. And if you read it and you want me to continue on, leave a comment down below. No spoilers. Tell me what happens in Crest, but no spoilers. The next book that I have here for you guys, I actually did a book review on this book because I quite enjoyed it at the end of the year, and it is The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. And I absolutely love this book. I gave it a 4.75 out of 5 stars. This book is a psychological mystery, which is a different genre in itself, but I really enjoyed it. Like I said before in my review, which I will link up here, if you guys love books like Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, I really think you will like this book. I know that sounds weird because Miss Peregrine's Home is more of a YA dystopian and this is more of an adult novel, but I go really in depth about this book in my review, so check out the review if you want to know more about this book. This story takes place in West Hall, Vermont in 1908, so it's a pretty like old-timey type story, but it follows these 2 sisters. Her mother just goes missing and they don't know where she is. She just goes missing in the night. So the 2 sisters try to find their mom. They hook up with some other people that they think know a little bit about where the mom has went, and the whole story, it's just like they meet people, and it's just all these different people. It's like 10 of them by the end of it that is looking for this mom, and they all have their various reasons as to why they're actually looking for the mom. Obviously, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about it because I don't want to give too much away. So check out the review if you really want to read it, but I highly recommend you guys pick this book up. The last book is a book that I am so glad that I read during a readathon in 2015. And I absolutely love it. Just the thought of this book is one of those books that just makes me smile when I think about it, and it's Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jessie Andrews. This book was another book that just gave me all the feels. It made me laugh so hard that after reading this book by him, I vowed that I would pick up any book that this man writes because I love this book, and this is just my type of book. A YA contemporary. I absolutely love it. It was funny. It was totally different from The Fault in Our Stars, even though it deals with cancer as well and the same age children. But it was a lighthearted version of Fault in Our Stars, because The Fault in Our Stars really did make me cry. This one was just kind of like the raw aspect. Okay, this girl has cancer, she's gonna die, bada bada, you know, no big deal. But it was the way the characters handled the cancer and how they handle it in such a nonchalant way that really just made me smile. I know a lot of people have read this book. I know a lot of people have done a bunch of reviews on this book. I'm not going to do a review because it's just books that I like and I just wanted to share that with you guys. But as always, I'm definitely going to leave the Goodreads link to this book and the other books that I've talked about in this video below, so you guys can check out the actual description of this book. But me and Earl and Dying Girl, I say if you love YA contemporaries, if you love to laugh, you're just looking for a lighthearted book that's just going to make you laugh, definitely pick this book up. I wind up giving this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So there you have it, guys. These are all the books that I really enjoyed in 2015 when I could read. If you guys have read any of these books, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you want to check them out, like I said, I'll have the Goodreads links below. And let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on these books, because I would love to chat about them with you guys. Bye!